morning, everybody. So, operations with rational numbers. That just means we're going to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, most likely. We've studied addition and subtraction. We've studied multiplication and division. We will continue to work on speed and fluency. Speed is not the goal, necessarily, but anytime you can do something with greater fluency and a little bit more automatic, you're going to save yourself time. And if I can save you time in doing your homework and things like that, man, I'm all for that. So we will continue to work on that, okay? But we want to practice, what are the real ways this would show up? Now, the first thing I want to remind you about is the order of operations. Please remember that the order of operations is a law, like gravity. We don't turn it on and off. It works all the time. So I'm not going to tell you, oh guys, remember, use order of operations. No, you always use order of operations, okay? But I wanted to review it. So the first step we would do is if there's any parentheses, and parentheses can be all different kind of bracket shapes. They can be fancy, okay? And we do the nearest inside and we work our way out, okay? So that's the first thing we do. The next thing we do is anything with exponents, okay? And you've done a little bit with exponents. Square roots, which we haven't touched yet, are the inverse operation of exponents. I just want you to know they fit in that step. Then multiplication and division, just however they appear, left to right, okay? So if the divide comes first, divide first. If the multiply comes first, multiply first. Then addition and subtraction, same thing. Left to right, whichever comes first. Okay, so just a reminder that that is always in place. It's not going to go away. Now a reminder of a property that we learned early in the year, but we're going to use more now. Okay, and its name is the distributive property. You're going to use this so much. Might as well make it your friend because it's not going away. Okay, so A times the quantity B plus C means A times B plus A times C. We distribute to everything inside the parentheses. For example, 2 times the quantity 3 plus 6. Okay, take a minute, do that in your head. It's not that I think you can't. I know you can. But how does distributive property apply to it for bigger problems or problems with variables in them? Well, this means 2 times 3 and 2 times 6. So 2 times 3 plus 2 times 6. 6 plus 12, 18. Hopefully that matches what you already came up with in your head. The next one is super scary looking. So scary. And it doesn't need to be. Okay? So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this problem. The farther I went in algebra, the more I used the first method. But the second method is just as good and might help you guys. Okay? So we have the fraction, and this would be really common in ratios. 3/4 to 10. What? What? Yep. I like to call complex fractions double stacks. And they're ugly, and we don't want to keep them. So how can we simplify them? What can we do with them? Well, like any good process, sometimes it gets messier before it gets better. Negative 3/4 is negative 3/4. But remember that 10 is 10 over 1. Any time ever for the rest of math that you multiply by the denominator of a fraction, you can kill the fraction. You can make it go away. In this case, we're going to multiply, okay, by the denominator of this fraction. There's a couple ways to do it, okay, but we're going to multiply by the denominator of this fraction. So if I took this and multiplied this by 4 over 1 and multiplied this by 4 over 1, then, just like what we learned when we were multiplying fractions, I just have negative 3 left. Okay? The ones don't matter. 10 times 4 is 40. Boom. There you go. So the ratio that says 3/4 to 10 would also mean negative 3 to 40. Okay, so negative 3/4 for every 10 people, negative 3 for every 40 people. That makes sense. But let me show you another way. So please write a big old or here. Same problem, we're just going to use a different method. Okay. 1 second. There we go. Okay. So again, we have negative 3/4 over 10. Here's what I want you to remember. The fraction bar is and always has been, always will be, division. So what we're really saying here is negative 3/4 divided by 10. That just simplified it a whole bunch. Negative 3/4 divided by 10 over 1. Now, to divide fractions, we want to multiply by the reciprocal. So multiply by the flipped reciprocal of that fraction. Negative 3, 40, exact same answer. Okay. These are going to come up. They're going to show up sometimes, and all you're going to want to do in the whole world is get rid of them. Here's how to do that. Okay. So I'm going to have you try some try problems, and then I'm going to look forward to seeing you in class. Thanks so much.